All right, Lindsay, what do you say? We take it to the max. Thank you for joining me for this. I'm so excited to have you here. You are Lindsey Meyer. You are the SVP of Business Development for EPM. This is a newly minted title. This is a new thing. Talk to me, girl. Tell me about how you got into this role. Tell me a little bit about your journey to this place.
Thanks so much, LaDonna. And honestly, I really appreciate you having me on and for that wonderful introduction. I can't wait to dive in with you and take it to the max.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
yeah, so I was born into the industry. My family owns a real estate technology company, and they were lending in the late 80s. So it's in my blood. I've been featured on a few rate cards back in the late 1980s, 1900s, as some people say now. Licked a lot of envelopes for marketing. Saw my dad and grandpa and family network, connect with a lot of people, not just at work or through profession, but also at country club, playing golf, and just through friends and family. We have a pretty big one. So I was lucky enough to score a job after college at Chicago Title. Had a wonderful time, met my best friend, who I'm still very close with now, and helped me learn a lot about the industry. For me, it was very helpful to have mentors and people that would assist. And I have to say that was definitely a place where I made relationships and really learned about the industry in all different aspects. After that, I took some fun stints off. I worked in hospitality. You'll have to learn a little bit more as far as that adventure. Have some pretty cool stories. Then moved into my family's company for about 15 years, was able to really help grow and learn each position, whether it's billing, client retention, selling, cold call, warm call, marketing cadence, all the fun stuff. Was able to really find my passion and knowledge for certain aspects of marketing and sales. Lucky enough, after that, I moved into national title, and I've been at some wonderful, wonderful companies. Last one was Concourse Land Transfer, which is a vertical of EPM. Loved working with Scott Ruckay, the owner. Learned so much, and very thankful to be asked to move over to the mothership of EPM and now be a coordinator between all verticals and help uh, raise our AOI, ROI, get some business in, try
Oh,
some new
I love
things,
that.
get creative, and work with an
Yeah.
awesome management team. I'm so excited to be able to have them as my mentors.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations again. You are such a natural fit for that position. So it seems like the perfect next step for
Thanks.
you. Of course, they are lucky to have you. Something that I know we both share a huge passion for is networking. You are the queen of it. You are so great. You make sure that you are very intentional about the events that you are attending, where you're going, who you're connecting with. But something that I absolutely adore about you is it's not just about who you connect with, it's who you connect other people to. And I appreciate that so much because for me, that really is an overlooked part of networking. I think so many people think, hey, I'm going to go there so that I can connect with these individuals, but they're missing that next layer of who can I connect within my circle that maybe can kind of cross paths that might find some synergy. You are so, so great about that. And I do feel like you're so good at piecing together who is going to click. Is that something that you felt like came naturally to you? How do you how are you so good at that, I guess is the question.
Well, we met networking,
We
so
did.
I appreciate being called the queen, but I'd place a crown on your head as well. You don't
Thank you.
continue relationships unless you have some reciprocity. And I think networking offers deeper, more personal conversations once you get to know people. And just LaDonna, we've had some serendipitous moments. after getting to know each other and becoming more of professional friends, that have been just crazy, that we can elaborate
Mhm.
on another time. But I really appreciate you. And, it is an intuitive feeling. I feel really good when you can help other people, when you see people rise. One of my best examples is I'm really good friends with who you would consider my competitors. There's always
Mm.
an opportunity to work with people, and I don't look at a challenging company or what they're selling as an obstacle, but how do we work around um, that thought process or any of those absolute obstacles or branding or marketing or relationships? How do you just see it differently? Recently, I just helped a friend move into a new company and was able to connect with a competitor colleague, and it worked out beautifully on all ends. And hey, it might not always work out, but I had the intuition. I threw out the introduction, and it was extremely rewarding and feel good to know, wow, I helped this person and their family and their happiness. So I really think that working in sales and my mission, it's really through people relationships and genuine connection. It's not
Mm.
just about transactional interactions, but rather building relationships that are mutually beneficial in the long term.
You're right, and I've seen this with you. You mentioned your intuition and being able to intuitively know how various people might connect with each other. Again, this isn't something that I think everyone has in their tool belt. So I do think that that is something that is very unique to you. But I think like any other skill, it is something that you can hone in and you can kind of better train yourself at. So I love that you bring that up because that's not an answer that I've ever heard out of anyone. I like to your approach to it being kind of an energy reciprocity, right? That's
Yeah.
really what you're saying. And I think you're so right. When you are willing to help other people are willing to help you. I, for the past 13 years of my career, if not longer, we were always looking at our competitors as almost like our enemy, where
Yeah.
it was like, "Mm-mm, we're taking them down." And it was only after I saw a dear friend of mine greet his direct competitor with the biggest hug. And the two of them just laughed and joked for a minute. They both looked at me and they were like, "This guy right here, this is the greatest guy." And then in separate conversations, both of them brought the other person up again and were like, "No, I really do mean it. Like, I absolutely adore them." And it was such this eye opening moment of, okay, just because we are competitors, it doesn't mean that we can't be friends. It doesn't mean that we can't want to help each other out. And there may be a deal that I can't do that you can. And since then, I've actually reached out to a couple of my competitors just to say, hey, look, we're in this space together. We might as well have an ally in it, someone else who knows what we're going through that we can trust and just kind of build a relationship around that. And they both were completely open to it. It's been a really lovely exchange. So I love that you brought that up.
You've got
What
intuition as well, LaDonna. I'm
Well,
glad
thank
you're
you.
using it. Yeah, that's a beautiful
Thank
story.
you. Thank you. Thank you. How do you balance for you, I feel like it does come so naturally. Just by way of again connecting with you, you were so real and so authentic right off the bat. I knew exactly who I was getting. I knew I could just see it right away, that loveliness in you, that light in you, and you made it really easy to connect with you. How would you recommend, or I want to use the word advise. I
Sure.
guess that is what I'm going to go with. How would you advise people to find their authentic self, that they can be that comfortable being so authentic even in an initial meeting when I feel like so many people tend to have their guard up, or they want to put their best face forward. And so maybe they're holding back on some of that authenticity.
Yeah. And it's completely natural to want to hold back. Um, for me, I've gotten in my head before. I attended an event recently and I had not been to that type of an event. I did not know anyone, actually walked in the room, and just have to know I am able to take this room on, learn more. These people are here for a reason, standing behind the booth. It's not very crowded. Let's go. And by the end of that day, I had a group of people that I was able to interact with, learn more about. And I really love how, and I appreciate you pointing out people being real, because like you, like me, like a lot of people we know, it's like if you invite other people into the group and the conversation and you're not blocking people out and you really are curious.
Mhm.
There's a lot of acronyms in our industry. What does CTC mean? Well, clear to close could mean something at a bank, and it could mean something different at a title company. So I think that just getting out there, finding a comfort level, taking a deep breath, knowing what can this hurt to get out there. Not everyone has that public feel, and maybe it's something where you want to move over to LinkedIn and try your networking a little more behind the scenes. um,
Ooh.
there's different opportunities, but I really think also, we talked earlier, it's taken you 13 years, you mentioned, of doing this over and over again. You are an amazing, interviewer. And I just constantly admire you on film. And, you mentioned, what did you say? You're like, I've taken 13 years to learn how to do this. It's taken a lot
The
of practice.
Yes. Yeah, the amount of people who are like, "You're a natural." I'm like, "Trust me, this is not a natural. This is years of working at it. Do not go back and watch my old recordings. They are rough." But you're right. It is a practice makes perfect situation. And it can be uncomfortable to walk into a room of strangers
100%.
with the intention of knowing I'm coming in here to get to know you. And the only thing that I know about you is that we happen to run in parallel industries. That can be an intimidating feeling. But
Sure.
I think you're right. As long as you go into it with an openness and with the wanting to actually connect and wanting to understand what people do, and maybe using that as another way of saying, "Hey, I'm not sure if what we do is ever going to synergistically work out, but I would love to have you in my network because you never know who else I may connect you with." That was something that, again, just via kind of a magical moment, we had connected, and I want to say it was like a week later, I had someone reach out to me. No business at all reaching out to me. I don't even know why they thought to ask me. They asked if I happened to know anyone who was in title who could do it across the nation. And we had literally just connected. I don't do anything with title now as an education provider, right? But the fact that I could say, actually, yeah, I do. I just added this person into my network. Let me connect you to. I love moments like that because it really does go to show you, when you think of others, others will think of you. You don't know how things will bloom and blossom down the road, but to have as many people and people of influence in your sphere, the better off you're going to be. So I think you're a prime example of that. You mentioned LinkedIn. I
Okay.
want to talk to you about this a little bit because I do think, even though it's 2025 and we know that social media is king, it is where people's eyeballs are, there is still so much hesitancy and
Yeah.
reluctance to put yourself out there. What would your advice be to someone to help them overcome maybe what they're feeling in that hesitation?
I think if you first prioritize what your goals are. And that can,
Okay.
for some people, that can be a lot. But do you want to make your first video and get that out there this year? Do you want a certain amount of followers? Do you want a certain type of views? But understanding what that means. Honestly, I really don't care about any of that. It's the interactions and the relationships and the messages and the DMs, and our contact that you introduced me to, that we are now in such a stronger relationship and have had one-on-one experiences and large group experiences, and just that alone has grown so much. I think that really the turning point for people is just do what feels comfortable, have some goals, and reach out to people. For me, that was Liz Short,
Mm.
Sasha Stair I ran into at an event. Just watching you, seeing what you relate to, having what Dan Smakoska calls a swipe file. See what appeals to you, and then create your own content, and start to get in a groove. See what you like to do. But I do have to say, consistency is key.
It really is. It really is. Even I'm seeing this. I took a little social media break. I just felt like I needed
Damn, girl.
one. Right? Like sometimes you just need that cleanse. You need a cleanse. But now I'm feeling back in that place of being like, okay, now I need to just get back out there. And I do find it can be a little bit hard to find your voice that you want to put out to the world. But once I shifted my mentality behind, okay, here's what I think people want to hear out of me, to here's what I want to talk about, here's what I want people to know about me. That's when it started really shifting for me. And I watched as my post went from damn near no engagement to all of a sudden huge engagement. And I realized it was because it really was coming from that place of authenticity. And what a huge, huge difference maker that has been. What do you think with your new role at EPM? How do you see yourself leveraging your expertise in networking and helping people come together? How do you think that's going to help you in this new business development role?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, I'm very excited to have, a C-suite of amazing leaders, that definitely have taken the stage and, know a lot about the industry. So I want to keep learning. I'm never going to know everything. So I really appreciate just that opportunity to have mentors. And speaking of mentors, I do think that's really important. I think throwing that word out there, if you're serious about it, a lot of people will just volunteer to help you.
Mm.
So check when you're networking or in conversations, if that's a goal of yours, what are you looking to be mentored on? Where can someone help you? You build that relationship, and you never know where you go from there. But I really think that as I've progressed, I've learned that the best business development isn't about making a sale. It's about creating solutions and adding value at every stage. And for that, that includes following up, keeping those relationships with people as best I can. We're all
Mhm.
people. And constantly reviewing my system and practice. And as technology evolves, just keep up with it as well. I think it's a very important part of the process. A lot of people might be a part, not really into, did AI reach outs and whatnot, but finding your proper touch point and keeping that momentum going, I really think can help a lot. There's some people I would say hi to often and didn't know my name. And now we give hugs and we chat about their family. And I just made sure I said hi to them each time I saw them and knew their name. So it
Right.
can be the littlest thing, but make sure that you have a thoughtful process and your own internal compass and goals set in a direction of where you want to go.
I love that. Something that you mentioned in there that we haven't really even touched on is mentorship opportunity. That is something that for myself, I've even introspectively had to be like, you know what? I've been out this CEO thing for a year now. I have been in this space now for over 13 years. I had the pleasure of helping to grow another company, and I thought that I really had it figured out. And it wasn't until I realized I had some shortcomings in the way that I was looking at deals, at
Mm.
my deals and my transactions, that I reached out to another CEO that I admire, and I was like, "Hey, I wanna talk to you about this. Would you be open to it? Would you be open to hearing how I'm structuring this and tell me your thoughts?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course, I would love to." Came back and was like, "Okay, you know what? I hear what you're doing here, but here's how I would tweak it. Here's how I would simplify it, and I would leave it at that." And at first, I kind of got a little defensive where
Sure.
I was like, no, I know what I'm doing and I've been doing this for a long time. I think I've got it dialed in." And then it was that like, no, I asked for this help. I need to actually take it into consideration. And after I let it sit with me for a little bit, I realized he was exactly right. It was a completely different way of looking at it than I have ever looked at or been taught. And it was that reminder of how important it is to have mentors, to have coaches, to have people who view things from a different lens and different life experience than maybe what you have. So, what a game changer it is to have those
Totally.
people. And I think that that opens up another avenue of networking, right? Where you can build a deeper relationship with someone based off of that.
For
Do
sure.
you have anyone, a mentor that you've kind of turned to that has helped you get to where you are?
I've had quite a few, and I still consider them my mentors. Fawn Downing, and I've had my dad, of course, that's helped
Mm,
mentor me. Scott Ruckay at the last company for Concourse Land Transfer, now Phil Mancuso. So, um, and I've honestly never really thought about mentorship until I moved into more of the national space, and
mm,
it's something that the mortgage and real estate community provides. And I really love how it is a topic of conversation, whether it's you're part of certain groups that provide that type of mentorship. I have to say, Janine Cassio, Simple Lending Financial, she's the CEO over there, really had my mind going. And just through meeting and connecting with her and hearing about her mentorship and journey, it it's just been very helpful and amazing for me as well.
that is so great.
Yeah,
So great. I know we're pushing on time. You've gotten out and I want to make sure to be respectful of that. So let's jump into some wrap-up questions.
great.
What do you think is a piece of networking advice that all professionals need to hear?
Just do it.
Hmm,
It's kind of been my slogan. Just do
I
it. Take the call, take the appointment. We're all so busy. Sometimes just pick up the phone, follow through, have that conversation with anyone who would have it. I met with someone earlier today, Andrew, and we met at a networking event with Delilah Ramos a couple weeks ago
hmm.
in Chicago, scheduled it. And quite honestly, I'm like, I'm going to drive 45 minutes for an hour of coffee and 45 minutes back. And we could have done this Zoom maybe. And I'm meeting with LaDonna later and whatnot, and Aaron Bradley later, and all these things I have for my day. And I am so glad I went. I mean, the
Hmm.
coffee shop wasn't even open yet. It was totally okay. There was a Starbucks right there. It was so random yet raw, and really got to know Andrew, and just talk from a higher business perspective, not just what can I do to help you? What do you need right now? So I just was energized after that meeting this morning. Like, get out there, just do it. It's okay if you haven't done this in a while. Take the time to make that impact and have that personal connection, because that one-on-one hour was way more impactful than 10 conversations I could have had. So
I totally believe it. And I love that you prioritize doing it in person because I think you're right. I think that's something a lot of people have gotten lazy about. because we are able to connect via Zoom, and that's great. There's a time and a place for that. But when given the option to have an in-person meeting, take the in-person meeting. It is so much better. And there's so much warmth and comfortability that can come from it so much faster. So I love that. What's one personal goal that you have, personal or professional, that you have for the next year?
I think it's probably more personal. I'd love to get my daughter to Europe, but in a
Oh,
professional way, working hard to provide an amazing trip and have my success this year, which I can't wait to have, and I know it's coming. Continuing to evolve. Just have that as a goal to hit it hard, and then have a award or a wonderful time, and just have that time off afterwards. So I would think that I would love that to happen next summer, and just take this next year and kill it. So
amazing,
yeah,
amazing. I know that we're both manifestation believers. And so if we're putting it out there, it means that we're being intentional and we want to bring it to us. So I
yeah.
love that. Where can people connect with you? Where's the best place to find you?
Great question. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on my cell phone. Feel free to DM me. We can reach out and chat. Or I also have my lindsey.meyer@epm.net email. So you can't miss me if you hit up LinkedIn, and then if you don't know what the other information was, just send me a message and I'll get in touch with you. Thank you for asking that, LaDonna. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yes, of course, of course. I love that as we're recording this, my old boss just called me. Like, that is how connected you should stay with the people in your sphere.
Right? What is
Thank
the best way
you.
to contact you? I know we're running short, but just last thing, what do you
I would
prefer?
I would say LinkedIn. I
Okay.
really would. I love people connecting with me there, and I
Yeah.
love people shouting me out. I know that's, like it feels a little narcissistic to say it, but nothing makes me happier than when I see it, because it is that reminder of what we're doing is working, and people see it and they appreciate it and they feel the intention behind it, and that means the world to me. So thank you again for being here. You know that I adore you. It just gets deeper and deeper every time that we talk. Thank you for just being the lovely human that you are.
Oh, likewise.
And I hope people do find you and connect with you, because you are a light in this industry. So,
Thank you. Thank you for expanding the circle of influence as well, and
yes,
loved being on today. Appreciate you so much.
thank you. Thank you again.
All right.